So, why are studios still launching games they clearly know are not ready? Because this week, Samson dropped on Steam, and almost immediately the conversation became about bugs, performance issues, mixed reviews, and patches. And honestly, Samson is not even the weird part. The weird part is how normal this keeps feeling. Welcome back to the Backlog Filter. If you haven't heard of Samson, here's the quick version. It's a new single player crime action game from Liquid Swords, the studio founded by Christopher Sundberg, one of the creators behind Just Cause. You play as Samson McRae in this city where he's trying to survive death, violence, and dangerous situations involving his sister. Close quarters combat, driving, a more focused open world structure. On paper, that sounds like a cool idea. That's exactly why this launch is so disappointing. Once the game released, the conversation stopped being about the idea and became about the condition it launched in. Steam reviews landed in mixed territory. Sonberg himself admitted they, and I quote, released a game with flaws for a number of reasons. He acknowledged game breaking bugs, performance issues, and a patch was lined up almost immediately after launch. Now, guys, Samson costs $24.99, not $70. That matters. But the second you ask someone to pay for something, the standard changes. Players are not buying an idea. They're not buying the patched version next month. They're buying the version that exists right now. And if that version is unstable, they're the ones taking on the risk. That is where the real problem lives. Because here's the thing, game development is hard. It is expensive and messy, and smaller studios sometimes make brutal calls just to keep the lights on. I'm not saying every rough launch comes from laziness or bad faith, but there's a difference between a game being imperfect and a game not being ready, between having potential and being finished. And the industry keeps blurring that line like they're the same thing. They are not. Samson is actually a good example of why this matters, because the foundation seems genuinely interesting. The atmosphere, the concept, early community reactions were basically saying the same thing. The idea is there, but the launch version is not. And could be great for later is not the same as ready now. Every time a studio ships these rough, unfinished games, and the response becomes just wait for patches, it sends a message. It tells the industry that launch quality is negotiable. That promise is enough. That the version you sell does not have to be the version people actually wanted to buy. That is a bad standard to normalize. And to be fair, Liquid Swords responded fast. They owned the issues publicly and moved on to fixes immediately. That matters, and it can rebuild trust over time, but fast patching does not erase a bad launch. It can fix the game, it cannot replace the experience of buying something that was not ready. And for console players, there's an interesting wrinkle here. There's still no confirmed PS5 release date, and it sounds like the team was focused on getting the PC version out the door first, which means console players might actually end up with the cleaner version once the dust settles, accidentally benefiting from everyone else absorbing the rough launch. That is not a great system either. So when I look at Samson, I do not see one rough release. I see the latest example of an industry asking players to treat unfinished games as normal. I want studios to survive. I want original games to win. I genuinely want Samson to become something great. But players have every right to expect a finished game at launch, not a promise of one. So guys, here's the real question. Should players support ambitious but unfinished games from struggling studios? Or does buying them then teach the industry the wrong lesson? Let me know your thoughts below.